If you are struggling to write a perfect abstract for your research paper, conference, or thesis, then this video is going to be super helpful for you. In this video, I am going to show exactly what an abstract is, its key purpose, what to include, what to avoid, and what differentiates a good abstract from a bad one. I have also covered some most common mistakes beginners make, your questions, and lastly, an AI tool that can help you write a better abstract. So, what actually is an abstract? Think of it as a concise summary of your entire research, usually between 150 to 250 words long. Its job is to cut down the long story short and includes the key information of the entire research so that you get a broad idea of the entire study. Now, if you are writing a conference abstract or a thesis abstract, it might be a bit longer depending upon the guidelines. But why abstract is so important? There are two big reasons for this. First, the abstract is free to access for everyone and even for the paid articles which are behind the paywalls. Second, it acts as a key filter for the readers to decide if the paper is worth reading and citing. Think of your abstract as a trailer for a movie. Before watching a movie, viewers watch the trailer to determine if the movie is worth investing their time. Therefore, it is important and wise to spend some more time writing a perfect abstract. Now let's look into the key components of an abstract with the help of this example. It is an abstract from a food journal of MDPI with an impact factor of 5.1. To learn how to easily find the impact factor of any journal, you can watch this video. The abstract you see here comprises of 6 key parts. It starts with the background, followed by the research gap, objectives, approach or methodology, key outcomes, and ends with the implication of the study. Let's look at each of these so that you can understand exactly what to write for each section. Sometimes background and research gap are merged together, and sometimes methods and objectives are grouped together in a single sentence, as shown in this example. The abstract should start with setting up the scene. Mention in one or two sentences a brief background of the study so that readers get an idea. Reading the first two sentences in this example makes it clear for the readers that the paper is about bamboo, its economic value, and the importance of bamboo shoots in food industry. After this, you have to mention a statement about research gap, what is currently missing, and unsolved, what is the problem considering which you conducted this particular study. For example, here, the culinary potential of the bamboo remains limiting factor, which forms the basis for this particular research. Next comes your objective. State exactly what you set out to do in one simple direct sentence. This is followed by the methods. Here, don't start listing every single tool or software, just the broad approach. If someone wants to know the detail, they will refer the method section. Here, just give the how you do it in very short. Now let's look at this abstract. Here both the objective, which is to uncover the regulatory network governing shoot growth, and the approach, which is transcriptome analysis of 6 different stages, are mentioned together in a single sentence. Now comes the most important part of the abstract, the outcomes. Here you mention the main findings of the study using real numbers and facts. Your results must directly answer the objective you stated earlier. In this example, how many genes were differentially expressed, significant pathways affecting the texture, the flavor, and ultimately the culinary properties. Then about co-expression network analysis, which identified key genes in the cell division and hormonal coordination. Now, based on the study and the method used, the findings are general and broad. Finally, the concluding line wraps up the abstract as implication of the work. What is the impact of your work? You should be honest here. Don't hype it or make the claims too vague. But in this example, based on just the transcriptome and co-expression analysis, such specific claims could not be made. Rather, authors should have mentioned it as a preliminary study that may lead to foundation for a future research, and validation is needed for specific claims to be made. So this portion could have been improved. Now look at the language and the phrases used in these two kind of abstracts. The first one does not clearly mention which plant, which method, and specific results. Also, the claims are too vague. In contrary, the second abstract clearly states the background and the gap of moringa. The method used and the outcome is very clear. I hope you got an idea about what to mention and how to mention to improve an abstract. Now let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid in an abstract. One huge mistake beginners make is copy pasting the sentences from your introduction, methods, and conclusion section. This not only repeats the things but also lacks proper flow. Write the abstract afresh to maintain the smooth flow covering all the key components I mentioned earlier. Next common mistake beginners make is using excessive usage of passive voice. Try to use active voice. It is better, shorter, and more direct. For example, instead of writing, it was observed that, write, we observed. Or instead of writing, a significant increase was observed in growth, write, growth increased significantly. Also, never add citations or discuss results in an abstract. Now, often researchers hide negative results because it does not fit their hypothesis. Rather, if something did not work, that is still a result. Being honest about what didn't work can be just as helpful to the scientific community as a successful experiment. Indeed, there are a few journals that specifically publishes the negative results. You can see the list of journals here. Now is the time for important tip. Always write your abstract at last. You need the full picture of your results to summarize them perfectly. Deliver a presentation, summarize it to your lab mates, and you will get more clarity about what to write in an abstract. A common question researchers have is what should be the length of an abstract. Ideally, the abstract is about 150 to 300 words long depending upon the journal. Conference abstracts can be about 500 words long, and thesis abstracts can be even longer. Some journals have separate headings for individual components of an abstract, like the BMC Genomics. Some journals additionally ask for graphical abstract. It is better to check out the specific guidelines before writing and submitting an abstract. Now, if writing feels difficult, you can use this helpful AI tool, Jenni. It is great for correcting the grammar, making your tone more academic, and structuring your rough ideas. It also has several useful features like managing the papers, formatting the references, and others that I have mentioned in detail in my tutorial that I have linked below. Also, if you want to know about the AI usage ethics in research, watch this full video. Still, if you have any questions or doubts, drop them in the comments below. I read them all and I will try to help you. If you want to learn how to write rest of the research paper, check out the full guide right here. Lastly, do not forget to subscribe Explore Bio for more such research tips. Thanks for watching and I will see you in my next video.